Alright, I'm just going to make a quick video pretty much dedicated to the Hawks-Steelers game coming up because I got to support my team. Don't got my jersey on. This is just Revolver. Um, and it's a big game for multiple reasons. I mean, obviously it's a rematch of the Super Bowl a couple years ago. Um, I don't view it like that because these teams are pretty different by now, but, you know, it's not all about that, I suppose. Pittsburgh's coming off a tough loss that they did not expect to Arizona. So obviously, if they were sleepwalking before this, after cruising through some easy competition, they're not going to be sleepwalking now because that's what a loss does to you. One of the thoughts I had was if Pittsburgh does beat Arizona and goes 4-0, I was wondering if we could catch them sleeping coming into this game, but obviously that's not going to happen. We're on a 2-game winning streak, but we have lost a game, and given who we're facing and what it might mean to us, we're not going to be sleeping either, so I would expect to see this team at full strength. It's on the East Coast. That's never easy for us. We never do well on the East Coast. Losses to Jacksonville and Washington. We just don't play well out there. It's early for us. I mean, it's 1 over there. It's 10 here. Jet lag, But, that's not going to be the excuse I'm going to make. Pittsburgh has a lot of injuries right now, like I've already said, so we got no excuses to not find a way to be able to pull this game out. Keys to the game. Offensively, we got to, I'll say this every week, of course, but we got to find a way to run block better and just run the ball because if they're missing Hampton and Polamalu, that's a huge hit to their run defense. They're still pretty good, but not nearly as good as they would be. But our run blocking, if it plays like it's had so far, may not be able to take advantage of that. But if Rob Sims and Chris Gray and Chris Spencer can step their game up in the run blocking area, we can take advantage of it and run on Pittsburgh. And that's not something a lot of teams have been able to do on Pittsburgh in recent times. Let's see, beyond that, I would also say, of course I'm going to say run the ball because that's the kind of offense we are, but this is a week where we should be able to pass quite a bit. They don't have very good cornerbacks. You got Ike Taylor. He's hit and miss. I still don't know what to think of Ike. One year he was real good. The next year he was real bad. This year the jury's still kind of out. We'll see. Deshae Townsend, I think he's garbage now. I just think he's washed up. And Bryant McFadden is out, so the replacement for Townsend is out. So Townsend's going to have to start. And in the nickel, you probably got William Gay. Those aren't great cornerbacks. We can pass on that. We got to take advantage of that. Last week we were able to pass on a team with really good corners. And obviously now it's safety. If they don't have Polamalu, they got, I think, Ryan Clark and Anthony Smith. Those are some pretty solid players. Not great. They're pretty good, though, Not superstars like most of the rest of the Pittsburgh defense, but they're all right. So offensively, I think we got to, put some points on the board. We can't leave points on the board. And when we're on defense, it's pretty obvious that we have to, we got to stop the run because the most important part to this offense is the running game with Willie Parker and Alan Faneca and Marvell Smith and whoever else. I'm probably just saying all the things that any team needs to do to win any week. But, stopping Willie is huge. Got to put a safety over the top on Santonio Holmes because as good as Trufant's been this year, and he's been good, he's been shut down, he's gotten a couple picks. Santonio Holmes is a burner, and if he gets a step on Trufant, he's gone. All Trufant has to do is slip or trip the tiniest bit, and Holmes is in there for 6. Got to find a way to, obviously put Deion Grant or Brian Russell over the top to prevent that because they don't have another passing option that's particularly good right now without Hines Ward. They got Nate Washington and Cedric Wilson, I think. We should be able to take care of that one-on-one. That's another thing we have to do. Win those 2 battles one-on-one because we got other concerns and we can't let those be our concerns. And, Beyond that, of course, our linebackers have to have a big game covering Heath Miller, coming in on the blitz, because our defensive line may or may not be able to generate pressure because they've got a good offensive line. It's more or less as good as ours in pass blocking so far this year. So, we're going to be sending blitzes, and we need them to connect. We need Peterson and Tutupu and Hill to come on in and just have a great game. And, of course, against the run as well, because they may not have the benefit of having defensive linemen take up 2 or 3 blockers. So, that's pretty much the keys to the game right there. As for the major ones, I'd say double up Holmes, stop Parker, and when we're on offense, run the ball up the middle and take advantage of what they don't have right now. Okay, that's really all I got to say about this game. If we can find a way to pull this out, that would be huge, because I don't want to say any game is a guaranteed win, but if we can find a way to win this game, we got the Saints coming to town, and we got the Rams coming to town, and then our bye. And if we lose either of those 2 games, something is wrong. We're in trouble if we lose either of those games, because those 2 teams just aren't good right now, and we're at home. So if we could head into the bye 6-1, I'd even say 5-2 is good, but 6-1, that'd be big. So that's all I got to say on that. So see you guys later.